Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Raven's Peace by Glenn Stewart. It's a book. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off the furry, there isn't any. Unlike some other spacefaring novel books with a bunch of aliens, this is more, I'm going to call it Star Trek type aliens, where they are described as basically like they're seeded worlds because the people or the aliens are so close to how humans look that they're, it's likely that people were seeded throughout this sector of the galaxy type of thing. So not a lot of like crazy, technically whatever aliens. So moving on to the good and the bad. The good is that this book is by Glenn Stewart, and I really like him as an author. One of my favorite books is the Starship's Mage series, but especially that first book. I like a lot of Glenn Stewart's books because he implements space travel in an interesting way. So I like how he described the skip drive in here, like how he implements space travel as a way to, be able to limit the capabilities to give tension and make it so that, people have to be hurrying as opposed to just being like, oh, we can warp 6 there. Oh, no, but actually let's warp 9 there and everything's solved. Cool. So they don't have, you can't just warp 9 there in this book series. And basically it's set where the big baddie that this huge alliance of human-esque aliens have been fighting against this super big baddie, and they finally just defeated him. So now with the big baddie gone, it's like, well, now everybody's going to start pointing their guns at each other. So there's basically this peace conference with like hundreds of ambassadors to try and hammer out, now that the big baddie's gone, what do we do? So that's interesting. I like how they describe his ship. There's a couple of firefights, but my major disappointment with this book is that, I listened to it, it's only like 9 hours long, but it's too short because the things that occur in there, like you spend so much time describing the space travel and establishing your crew and establishing your guy, and then the things that actually happen, there's just not enough things that happen, and then it ends. Because, none of things happen, and then a big, huge thing happens, and it's like, oh, this is going to cause a huge end of book. Like, that's it. Book's over. It's just like, what? That's, and yes, it's a book series. There's, I think, 4 others out right now, but I want a book to be able to stand on its own, not only be the setup. Like, if this was a prequel to whatever war or other thing that starts between them, cool, that would work. But as the start of a series, it feels not so much unfinished as just cut off to force you to buy another book as opposed to getting a complete story in just one book. So that's a little frustrating. Spoiler alerts for now. So spoiler alerts, basically, the only thing that happens in the book is Ambassador comes on board, they're like, look it, we have this fancy new ship. Then they're heading to the place, but they have to make these stops because of how their skip drive works. And after this one place, there's these baddies, and they try to attack us, so we have to maneuver, we have to attack them to demonstrate, to the audience how the weaponry works. And they're successful. So then they continue to the conference. And then the conference is like, it's so boring. It just takes like a whole week just for people to introduce themselves. Oh my god. And then some other guy with another big badass ship is like, hey, let's have a contest because my ships are better maneuverable and faster, and yours just are only strong, have shielding. So they're like, okay, cool. So let's go to this radioactive asteroid field that cuts us off from everything and have our little contest. Oh no! Something bad tries to kill us both. It almost kills you, but I'm successful and I live. And then now the aliens who operated now it's a problem. Now there's explosions and bad things, and so now peace is at an end. And that's it. That's how it ends. It's just like, we stopped this immediate thing from happening here, but now because of all this, this place is going to devolve into a whole, all of this alliance is broken up and they're just going to fight each other. But that's the end of our book. Okay. So, I don't plan on reading the other 4 at this point. So, at this point, I do not recommend this book. Maybe, if you read the other 4, maybe it gets better, but just with how this is formatted and I'm not sold, so I'm done. But thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.